Welcome to round 3 of the 2019 FIA European Rally Championship. From Liepaja in Latvia, we switch from tarmac to the loose stuff. And after the gravel of the Azores and the pure tarmac of Canary Islands, the ERC is back on this loose surface up here in the Baltic regions, north of Europe, probably the furthest north that we go on the championship. And Rally Liepaja was originally a winter rally on the ERC, but switched to the autumn for 2016 to ensure better weather. But this year the event moves to May. And the flowers may be in bloom, the sun is shining, but certainly the high-speed stages in Western Latvia will continue to thrill the drivers. And the 2019 ERC season started in dramatic style with twists and turns that nobody was expecting, and it proved difficult for the ERC's drivers, especially Liepaja, as he switched to new equipment for round 1 of the championship, driving the Citroën and rolling out when he was heading for a win in the Azores. And then he was leading on the sealed surface of the Canary Islands, but clipped a wall on Saturday morning and his rally was all out and done. Not so good for him. But on the other side of the coin, 2019 has been great for Chris Ingram, the young Brit. Had a third and a second place on the opening 2 rounds, so maybe a win.
Yeah, very pleased with that.
Is due for him here. However, it was the ERC1 junior driver Pepe Lopez who stole the show on his home soil in Canary Islands, narrowly claiming his maiden ERC win ahead of Ingram. Might be a surprise the season started for Liepaja well. He found some genuine pace so far, out in front, number 1 on the door of his car. He's leading the championship. The third round of the season is in Liepaja on Latvia's Baltic coast, west of the capital of Riga. It's the 3rd largest city. The rally is fast and Chris Ingram can't wait to get out there on the gravel and push to the limits.
All about commitment, bravery, just keeping it flat out, never lifting and trying to brake as little as possible. That's the key.
After a great start to the season, Liepaja is thinking about the long game and is approaching this rally with a little more cautious approach.
Of course, we're thinking about the points, and the championship is definitely the most important. So our goal is not to win this rally or be the fastest on the stages. We are thinking about the season, and that's the main goal.
It may have been a tough start to the year for Liepaja, but he's still positive and expecting a good fight on an event he's won before.
We have a lot of young guys, some newcomers, so we will see. Definitely we expect a close fight because there are not so many corners here and the gaps should be really close. And I hope everyone will enjoy the fight.
And the 2018 Under-27 champion Martin Sex finally gets his prize this weekend, a chance to drive one of the top spec R5 Skodas on his home soil.
Yeah, it's my homeland and I know where to turn left and right, but the new thing is the car now. The time of thinking is less because the car is just flying.
Another young driver hoping to impress out there is Oliver Solberg, the son of 2003 world champion Petter Solberg. He's been here before, but it's his first time in an R5.
No, for sure it's a new challenge with R5, and I've been racing R2 here before, so it's going to be a fun challenge. But I just have to get the experience, and hopefully I can get the speed of the end of the weekend. But we will see how our pace is, but it's for sure going to be good fun.
13 stages make up this rally, covering nearly 206 competitive kilometres of distance. While Liepaja remains the event's hub, the stages will cover much wider area than ever before, with roads around Talsi to the north for the first time on day 1. But Following the short qualifying stage of just over 3 kilometres, the top 15 drivers selected the road positions for the rally on leg number 1. And fastest in qualifying was Oliver Solberg. He chose to go 15th on the road. Alexei Lukanuk was second fastest and chooses to start 14th on day 1. Łukasz Habaj was 5th fastest for the championship leader. He elected to start 11th on the road. And Chris Ingram was 6th quickest. He chose to go 10th. The drivers elected to go in reverse order to capitalise once again on the gravel from those swept lines. And an enviable task to open the road went to Paolo Nobre. But the start took place in Liepaja after the road picking order on Friday evening. Plenty of spectators gathered in the centre of town to wave the cars over the start ramp. Tibor Erdi ran here last year in the R5 Fabia after winning the ERC2 class last year. It's the second time he's taken that car over the podium here in the centre of Liepaja. So after the usual press conferences, the pomp and ceremony of the photographs, the start, the razzmatazz and the dancing, it was a 2-hour drive north to Talsi on day 1 and get their teeth stuck into 5 competitive stages of round 3 of the championship. 3 stages in the morning, remote service, and then back for 2 more stages in the afternoon before driving all the way back down to Liepaja. Chris Ingram, 10th on the road this morning, is pushing hard in the opening stage of the event and was 3rd fastest in this car. Ingram, no stranger on the wide, fast-flowing roads of Latvia, is the fastest rally of the season.
100, short max 1 right, in over crest.
Ingram hit a rock in stage 2 but managed to sign off the 4th quickest time in the Fabia. Made a mistake with his pace notes in stage number 3.
Max crests, 120.
Ross Whittock just writing down the wrong note, told him to brake instead of staying flat out.
Opens.
But after 3 stages, Ingram is 4th overall. Our championship leader, Łukasz Habaj, driving the Skoda Fabia R5, prepared by SRT, who are based in Latvia. Habaj 11th on the road this morning. He was 7th fastest in stage 1, but not really feeling great with the car in the second part of the stage, just struggling with the grip. Martin Seix driving that car, the local hero, is 12th on the road. He's competed on these stages in the National Championship in the past, so knows them quite well. It's the first time he's driven the R5 car, prepped by Motorsport Italia, the 2018 ERC3 Junior Champion and son of Liepaja's mayor, who was also a former rally driver. Martins was 2nd fastest in stage 1, but still learning the car, having limited kilometres behind the wheel ahead of the rally starting. He was 3rd fastest in stage number 2, though, a strong pace and a long way to go. In the longest stage of the day, he was 2nd fastest through. Seix, 3rd overall after 3 stages. You join us as we're on board with Alexei Lukanuk piloting his new Citroen through the Latvian countryside. He's 14th on the road. He was 2nd fastest in the qualifying stage. You can see the gravel being swept off the surface as the first 13 cars have been through the road ahead of him. Liepaja said he was waking up in stage 1. He was 4th quickest there, but was 2nd fastest in stage number 2, gaining confidence with the Citroen all the time. But the 2018 ERC champion had a massive push on the longest test of the day. He was fastest in stage number 3. Liepaja up to 2nd overall before service, just 4.4 seconds ahead of Martin Seix. Oliver Solberg piloting the Polo that his father helped to develop and debuted last October. Oliver Solberg, of course, son of 2003 world champion Petter Solberg, comes from a motorsport heritage in the family. 15th on the road today, benefiting from being fastest in the qualifying stage. Clean run for young Oliver Solberg in stage 1, but decided to push hard from the start, maybe just a little bit too hard. Small drama there in stage number 3. Span on the loose stones, but still managed to sign off the 3rd fastest time. Oliver's just 17 years old. Competed here in Latvia for 2 times over the past 2 seasons. And this is Hiroki Arai, 19th car on the road today, so he wasn't maximum attack in the qualifying stage, so running a little bit further down the road. However, Hiroki driving a Citroen C3 was 5th fastest in stage 1 and stage number 3, 6th quickest in stage number 2. An impressive first loop for Toshe Arai's son. Hiroki Arai is 5th overall in the standings, just 8.9 seconds behind Ingram. Interesting stat that Toshe Arai was teammate to Oliver Solberg's dad, Petter Solberg, in the Subaru World Team in 2006. So after 3 stages, the top 5 looks like this. It's Solberg, Liepaja and Seix. Coming up next, we've got some more high-speed action from Latvia. It's round 3 of the championship. Stay with us for some more sideways stuff. Welcome back to Latvia. This is Rally Liepaja. Before we get back to the ERC action at the top with the R5 cars, let's have a look to see what the other categories are doing in ERC2 and ERC3. Renis Nitis is joining the new Arbath 124 Cup. Rallycross star and local hero. True contender in ERC2 this weekend.
It's a big change. This Wednesday, the first time ever test the car, and at the beginning it was tough, it was hard, but end of the day for sure we started to enjoy, because it's like big sideways, a lot of work inside the car, and it's fun to drive.
Nitis was a little slow in stage 1 as he found his feet adjusting to the rear wheel drive Arbath, but was soon pushing hard and starting to enjoy himself until an engine ECU problem on stage 4 meant that he had to stop the car. However, he rejoined the rally on day 2. Sergei Remenik, ERC regular who didn't start in the Canary Islands due to a pre-event test, well, he rolled out on stage number 3, damaged the car, tried to put it back on the wheels again with some helpful spectators, but unfortunately the car was too damaged and he couldn't continue here in Latvia. Andrea Nuchita, another one of the Arbath 124 drivers, was at the top in the Arbath after 4 stages, but slipped back on stage 5. There wasn't much gap between him and Polonsky, who won in the car in the Canary Islands. It was all paying off for Dariusz Polonsky. The Polish driver had a good start to the day, dropped back a little bit and regained the lead on stage 5 at the end of leg number 1. Now Raf Samashis, who's won this event in an R5 car just a few years ago, has switched to ERC2 for the 2019 edition, driving a Mitsubishi Evo 10. Experienced Raf Samashis was using his home soil advantage well, and pulled to an impressive lead of nearly 4 minutes by the end of the day in ERC2. Over in ERC3, this is the two-wheel drive category. It's always a tough fight for these rising stars. And Mika Hokkanen, whose hometown is Jyväskylä in Finland, grew up on the loose stuff. Mika Hokkanen is only young but is super quick behind the wheel of his Peugeot. The Finnish driver going well in the early stages, running in 5th place. A broken wheel though in stage 4 forced him to stop. And that looked like the end of the rally for him. Championship leader Efrain Lorena was on the pace all day long though, but not out of contention, running in 5th place overall. Lorena driving a little bit conservatively on day number 1. He said he will attack for day number 2. Stevie Rockland was having a bit of a frustrating day. The pace was quite good. We last saw him in the Azores driving the Ford, but switching back to the familiar Peugeot here for round 3 in Latvia. Pace was quite good, but he made a few mistakes along the way, including going wide in a chicane. The Norwegian driver was running 4th in ERC3. As for Sindre Furuseth in another Peugeot R2, 208, the Norwegian driver was having a mixed day. Fastest on stage 1, he lost time on stage 2, and then all was going well again. But a mistake on stage 5 proved to be costly. He overshot a chicane and delayed his progress. Jean-Baptiste Franceschi driving another one of the Ford Fiesta R2s. Franceschi had seen the other drivers were making mistakes and decided to be a bit cautious to make sure he got to the end of the day all nice and smooth. Driving smooth seemed to be working well, and his pace was pretty quick in this all-new Fiesta R2.
Very nice, I enjoyed a lot. We had a very good pace nut. So we have to see, because we still first two-wheel drive on the road, so but okay, I'm happy.
Ken Thorn, the very strong rally driver's name, seemed to be growing with confidence through the day and took the ERC3 lead on stage number 3. He had to push hard though. The Estonian managed to get to the end of the day with a very slender advantage. Let's hear what Ken has to say at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Let's see what another guy's doing.
Well, the other guys look like this. 17.8 seconds behind him is Sindre Furuseth. Stevie Rockland is in 3rd. 26.3 seconds the drop down to him. Then it's Lorena and Franceschi. But as spring turns into summer in Latvia and the rapeseed is blooming in the fields, it's Łukasz Habaj piloting the Skoda Fabia through the countryside. Remember, Habaj is 11th on the road on day number 1. Missed a junction, stalled the engine in stage 4, struggling to restart the Fabia. He was 7th in stage number 4 and 6th quickest in stage number 5. On board now with Chris Ingram, 4th quickest in stage 4, 3rd fastest in stage number 5. Having a lot of fun with Ross Wittig, a lot of sideways action, clean driving from him and Ross Wittig. 4th overall.
Into Max right, okay, over 3.
Martin Seix on his home soil, 3rd in stage number 3, 4th in the final stage of the day today. Very impressive drive for him. He only had 120 kilometres of testing in the car prior to the event starting. Martin's won the 2018 ERC Under 27 Junior Championship, and this is part of his prize from last year. First time in the car. Sex is third in the standings, 11.6 seconds ahead of Ingram.
During the day, I'm quite learning a lot, but on the long stage we kill the tires, and basically this last stage we drove on quite bad tires, so it was sliding too much.
There's something mesmerizing listening to Alexei Antonov calling out the pace notes to Alexei on this high-speed event across the Latvian countryside. Sound like a couple of cosmonauts piloting a rocket ship on the gravel. Alexei, with his steely eyes of determination, is pushing hard and clean run in both stages, pushing to the limit, but was second quickest in stage 4 and stage 5. He could be faster though.
Yeah, I'd like to see where we're losing time. I know under braking we're losing a lot, and I have a conclusion that we're losing some time on the straight line with top speed.
Slide right over 150, opens 220.
Driving the Volkswagen Polo R5, it's Oliver Solberg. Amazing performance from him so far. Pushing to the absolute limit, and yet another quick time. Fastest in stage 4 and fastest in stage 5. He's leading ERC 1 at the end of the day. In the standings, Lukanuk is now 9.7 seconds behind Solberg as we wrap up 5 stages in Latvia. Oliver Solberg's driving on a provisional driver's license as well.
I don't know what to say. I almost started to cry. I'm so happy I am. Thank you for a good fight. You've been my hero, you know. You're my hero, you know.
Thank you.
David versus Goliath. The 17-year-old Oliver Solberg is out in front on round 3 of the championship. This is Rally Liepaja. 9.7 seconds, the gap between the two of them going into day number 2. Martin Sex is 15.2 seconds behind Lukanuk in 3rd. Chris Ingram just lying off the podium in 4th. Incredible stuff here from Latvia. What will happen in day number 2? We'll find out shortly. This is the FIA European Rally Championship. Late spring, heading into early summer. It's late May in Latvia. And with the flowers in bloom and the roads bone dry, this high-speed rally is ready to conclude today. Heading east from Liepaja out onto familiar territory for a loop of 3 stages this morning, back to service and then going out and looping round 2 stages in the afternoon, but run twice. 13 stages in total here this morning, but let's get underway. First of our Citroens is Matthias Adelson today. Matthias was 9th overall at the end of leg number 1 and is 2nd on the road this morning. Norbert Herzig had that unenviable job of sweeping the first loose gravel off the road today, but 2 minutes behind him on the road is Matthias Adelson, and we follow him with our eye in the sky now. Difficult road position for him. 11th overall before service, and this is Philip Maris. But by the Czech Federation, Maris is back on the ERC again and learning the car all the time. 4th on the road, 6th overall after leg number 1, but feeling better on day 2. And his confidence improves with every kilometre. On board with Łukasz Habaj, who is 5th on the road and still got some loose gravel further back. Despite the roads being very wide here in Latvia, they are, if you get out of the line and onto the loose stuff, the car is all over the place and it can go wide and into the fields pretty quickly. Clean run all morning, no drama for the Polish driver so far. for number 1 on the side of the door of the Fabia. He's thinking about the championship and not taking the risks. 5th overall. In the same equipment as Habai in another Fabia, but this one's prepared by Tok Sport. Ingram, 7th on the road this morning, getting to grips with the feeling of the car though. Even better today, really enjoying it. Listen to the car, nearly on the limiter. No mistakes though. Ross alongside him. You could be pushing just a little bit harder, he was saying to us at the end of the stage. 4th overall before service, 42 seconds ahead of Hamilton. We're on board now with Martin Sex. Lives in Rally Liepaja's hometown. Son of the mayor here, and driving the Motorsport Italia prepared R5 Fabia. Part of his prize drive, he's the 8th runner on the road today, 3rd in the rally overall, but said to us that he was driving a little bit careful in some parts of stage 6 and stage 7. Still very fast, but not enough to challenge Alexei Lukanuk and Solberg, who are just ahead of them on the road. And heading to the midpoint service after 3 stages. 3rd overall, 22 seconds ahead of Ingram.
2 kilometers, there is no rain, then again it's heavy rain, then there is something, and it was interesting to push the button all the time.
So on day 2 in the ERCs, the top 10 is run in reverse order. So the 9th car to start the stages today is Alexei Lukanuk, who is 2nd in this title battle. Lukanuk, after a disastrous start for him in the Azores, rolling the car out on the final stage of the rally when he was on for a win there. He was leading the rally in Canarias when we went onto the tarmac for round 2 of the championship, but here in Rally Liepaja, round 3, he's been given specific instructions from Santalok, the team, that he must bring the car home. Lukanuk has got the pressure this morning, changed the setup on the car. He was quickest in stage number 9, but hasn't got a clear head.
Hesitating in places, I still do not trust the car completely, and I always, after the corner, understand I could take it faster, but you know, somewhere deep inside it sits in me that I should not risk too much.
60, 6 left, plus over crest, keep in, and 6 right minus tight.
So out in front, it's Oliver Solberg.
And 6 right minus tight, keep in, into 6 left minus long, tights to 5 plus, half long, keep in, and 6 right minus half long, tights don't cut, and
The battle between Lukanuk and Solberg continues on Sunday morning. 3rd fastest time this morning.
To 5, opens long, tights late 4, tightens.
Had a small moment in stage number 9 for Solberg, but the rest of the rally is under control. He was telling us at the end of the stages that he just has a little bit more in there if needs be. He wasn't pushing, but is that mind games? Despite clipping a bank here.
Into chicane, 1 left, double tightens.
Still leads 19.1 seconds ahead of Alexei Lukanuk.
I did a mistake in there. I got understeer in the corner, hit the bank massively. I was a bit afraid. So I lost some time, but it's okay.
Marianne Griebel, who won the ERC under 28 category a couple of years ago. Smooth and consistent for Griebel. Very clever thinking for Griebel on the end of leg number 2. He slowed down towards the end of the day, as not to be first on the road on day number 2. So, 12th on the road this morning. And after leg 1, he's 12th in the rally. Feels good, more confident behind the car. 8th overall after 9 stages for Griebel, but Solberg's out in front by 19.1 seconds. Sex is still 3rd. However, Ingram is pushing for that 3rd position. The final few stages get underway here in Rally Liepaja after the break. But rain is forecast for the final loop of stages. Will that mix it all up and shake up the leaderboard? Welcome back to Latvia. And the Stokes are certainly enjoying themselves on the Sunday morning. The wind is picking up and rain is in the air. But let's have a quick look at the ERC2 and ERC3 category. And Dariusz Polonsky in the Arbach 124. It was all going to plan for the Polish driver in day number 2. But after an early spin on stage 7, it cost him time and he dropped down from 2nd to 4th place. And then another bad stage dropped him down to 5th place after that. Polonsky's still learning the rear-wheel drive car. Zelindo Meligari, regular face on the ERC, driving the Evo 10. After Polonsky's problems, Zelindo was now up to 4th place, but a mistake on stage 11 worried him. He stopped at the end of the stage to check his car, got away with it and kept going with a good time despite bending the rear right wheel. Andrea Nucita in the Arbach 124, the Italian, was on top form of all 4 stages yesterday, but dropped back at the end of the day. He was leading the Arbach Cup within the ERC2 and had 2nd place stitched up there. The Kuwaiti driver had moved up to 3rd place overall for Mishari and then moved up to 2nd when Nucita picked up a penalty for missing a chicane. Has been a steady pace all weekend. Has certainly enjoyed his trip from Kuwait to Latvia. We'll see more of him throughout this season. Another home hero, Raf Samashis, made a small mistake at the start of day number 2. He got the gearbox settings all wrong. Took him a few corners to work out what the issue was, but apart from that, Samashis had control of the rally all weekend in the ERC2 class. A fantastic return to Rafs, who was a regular on the ERC in the Fabia a few years ago.
I come back in the rally and start with winning. I think it's great feelings. I'm really happy about it.
Over in ERC3, there was plenty of drama on day number 2. There's always drama in this 2-wheel drive class. And Dominic Broz, again from the Czech Republic, crashed on stage number 7. With his win it or bin it mentality, Broz could not continue after pushing hard. Gregor Munster, the Belgian driver, clipped a pole at the side of the stage. Damaged the car, he had to stop. Eric Kass rolled his car at the start of the week in a pre-event test, got a new car shipped to Poland, and rolled that one out on stage number 9. 2 cars in 1 week, expensive bill for Eric. Efren Lorena, the championship leader, was still in 5th place. He was getting frustrated with his pace though. He was trying everything to get all the power out of the Peugeot, but it was not working. Couldn't find any extra time to catch up for the Spanish combo. Sarah Fernandez co-driving him there. And Jean-Baptiste Franceschi, what went from a promising start to a disastrous stage. 2nd stage on day number 2, his bonnet came up and he had to drive the entire stage crouched down, trusting his pace notes and looking through the tiny gap in the bottom. Stevie Rockland benefited from Franceschi's troubles, moved up to third place. Despite his own frustrations with his pace, he was still pretty good, he said, and was close to Furuseth, who was ahead. And Sindre Furuseth from Norway was now out in second place and needed to push hard to keep Stevie behind him. The gap to 10 Korn was probably just a bit too close now. And this is the Estonian Ken Thorn, class leader. Didn't start the day very well, but made a few mistakes on stage number 6. Then he eased up a little bit too much, but regrouped and kept himself focused, pushing and controlling his lead to head to victory in ERC2.
We always hoped to win when we come to rally, but after the quite hard season start, then it's a very good emotion.
So ERC3 wraps up like this with Thorn, Furuseth and Rockland on the podium. Franceschi, who made that small mistake with the bonnet pins, was dropped down to 4th. So with rain falling in Latvia, Łukasz Habaj. Had some safe driving with no major drama. Small little mistakes here and there on stage number 4, but nothing to write home about. 5th overall in the rally, satisfied, of course he is. Some good points to score for the championship this weekend for Habaj. He's landlocked in time, heading into the final group of stages. What he needs to do is keep it tyre side down and think of the silverware. Chris Ingram hopes to get a bit more rain in these final loops, and that kind of worked for him. He was trying a new tyre setup in the final group of stages. He was mixing the tread tyre compound laterally across the car, so the softer compound front left and rear right, and then a harder one front right and rear left, gave him that extra little push. However, due to the rutted up stages, hit his radiator after a heavy impact, and that was leaking going into the final stage. So tense times for Chris Ingram heading into the final stage of the event. Martin Sex had a moment in stage number 11, drove steady from the start to the end though. 3rd overall in the rally for Sex. 2nd in ERC1 at the moment, and the 1st Latvian driver. Stages that he's competed on in the past. This last stage of the event was where he was piloting the Opel last season, the Opel Adam in the under-27 class, to take that win. And as a result of that, he's back here driving the R5 as his career steps up a notch. He first competed on this rally in 2014 and hoped to win it one day. But unfortunately, not this time in 2019.
The funny part is that I've been doing this rally, I don't know, since 2014, and I never won it. Never. But I think I will change it soon.
Maybe next year, he'll be back. But Alexei Lukanuk on the final stage of the event was not happy. He was the quickest driver in the final stage, but complaining all the time about team pressure to bring the car home, but he's got to think of defending his title. He won the ERC Championship in 2018 and hasn't finished for the first 2 rounds of the season, so the pressure is on during this 8-round campaign. He's got to reboot himself. Had 3 stage wins throughout the rally. Lukanuk earns crucial points towards that title defence though by finally bringing the Citroën home. A somewhat muted Lukanuk throughout this weekend. He wants to go flat out on this rally. He wants to go fast.
As I told before, everybody around should be happy that I finished finally. Me too.
Tightens and 6 right, keep in over crest, opens 100. Brake
But this guy, 17 years old, Oliver Solberg,
3 plus, tightens, keep into 5 left minus half
driving
long,
on a provisional
tightens,
driver's
into,
license.
keep right over crest, into early 6 left plus, and 6 right minus half long, opens to keep left over crest, 120.
This is history in the making on the ERC.
Line into unseen 6 right minus, tightens over crest to 4 plus.
All Oliver Solberg now needs to do is bring the car home, and he'll be the youngest winner of an ERC event.
150 over crest. Yes! Yes! Well done!
Wraps up the rally, 13 stages, 22.7 seconds ahead of Alexei Lukanuk. Solberg is on top of the car and on top of the podium.
So perfect race. Okay, last stage was not very good. I was too cautious and was, yeah, you know, too stiff, you know. And now I just, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I've done the whole weekend, go flat out, won the stage. Amazing, yeah, I'm so happy.
So the teenager Oliver Solberg makes ERC history as the youngest winner of an FIA European Rally Championship event, winning Rally Liepaja in ERC1. Also winning the ERC1 Junior Championship here. What an incredible moment to share with his family back in the service park. His father Petter, his mother Pernilla. He comes from a motorsport background. We've known him since he was riding his pedal car around the service park. We're going to see some great stuff from Oliver over the next few years. But the championship looks like this. Habai leads by just 1 point over Chris Ingram. Alexei Lukanuk takes some important points, which is fantastic for him as well. And then the road section back down, hose the cars off and over the podium. The first win for Solberg. ERC 2018 champion Alexei Lukanuk had to settle for second at the end of the day. Martin Seix in third. So that's it. That is us done on the loose stuff of Latvia, but next up we're heading to Poland as the summer continues. We're going to Mikołajki next up for the legendary Rally Poland. Round 4 of the championship is going to be another high-speed assault on the senses from the FIA European Rally Championship. From all of us at the programme, thank you for watching, follow us on social media, and we'll see you soon.